So, are there any questions for myself or for Susan or for Vicky on any of the practicalities? Yes, please. Perhaps if you could just say who you are and where you're from, that would be really helpful.
My question is really, you've been speaking about community groups, and I just want to probe a little bit more about what your definition of that is. I mean, for instance, LSE is thinking about how to work with its surrounding community and create a sustainable campus. Around that, would we, as it were, fall foul of your definition of a community group? I mean, you spoke about the world of academia as somehow external to community groups, rather than having the potential to actually work as a community catalyst, particularly in London.
Yeah, well, the key thing is the not-for-profit status, and within that we're being quite broad about the types of organisations. We hope that we'll get a really broad range of responses, and that might be everything from Parents and Teachers Association to a new group such as the type that Susan described. It might be quite an established charity. It could be something like a local branch of an age concern. So that there isn't a lot more detail beyond not-for-profit. There are a couple of. We have to be based in the UK. It's not about individuals, and obviously it's not about big businesses.
I'm from Headcon Sustainability Group. And one of the things I wanted to ask is, I'm really worried about keep reinventing the wheels. We've been doing something very similar to what you've been doing, and it's brilliant to hear about it. And how are you going to share all the ideas that people have come up with?
That's a very good question, and at NESTA we're also extremely concerned about not reinventing the wheel, and actually across the innovation programs, which is what Helen manages, we're interested in how you take great ideas and how you share them and how you scale them, so that there aren't lots of people repeating the same thing all over the place. And going back to what I said about this not just being about the winners, we're thinking through a number of ways which we might share the ideas, and any ideas that on how to do that we get from people that apply, we'd be really interested to hear. So
just to add to that, I think part of the purpose of a potentially big high-profile competition on the prize fund like this is that we can actually use it to showcase some of the really good stuff that's going on out there. So as Vicky was saying, it's not just about the couple of organisations that might win this, or the 10 that get through to the final stages. It's actually about showcasing people from right across the UK who are already involved in this sort of activity, and using that as an opportunity to inspire other people about what actually is going on out there. And actually, there may be examples of projects that are being done, that are similar but are being done in slightly different ways by different groups. And actually, it's about just encouraging people that they can get involved and sort of make a difference.
Chris Daly, Common Resource. You mentioned an organisation called CRED that's going to help with looking at how to monitor the key indicators. Can I ask, have you got already a set of key indicators that you would expect to be within the programme of the?
Currently, the criteria is still being established between ourselves and NESTA, so there aren't any sort of dramatic key indicators. The monitoring is really sort of just to establish a starting point for a community baselining, really. CRED sort of also engage with the community. It's very important they know what their energy expenditure is beforehand, so they can actually make a difference. That's one of the key elements. How it's going to progress from there? Well, we're going to be looking at with each bid or with each community. Obviously, there's going to be some which are going to have. It's going to be very dynamic in nature. There may be some which have few members but have a very big idea. There may be some which have a lot of members but a small individual thing. So it's going to be quite difficult to evaluate and give sort of definitive ways in which these can start. I know it doesn't really necessarily answer your question, but we are building sort of with, first of all, the light touch entry form, just to give people an indication of where they can start from, and then basically as we go along, we'll be sort of being able to, through NESTA, be able to advise them, well, how do these people progress, and how can they get the best return out of what has already been a starting point.
Hi, I'm Sarah Butler-Sloss from the Ashton Awards for Sustainable Energy. I just wondered whether you could tell us a little bit more about what you mean by community, and whether that's a geographical community, whether it's a sector community, and whether it could almost be a website virtual community.
Yes, all of the above, basically. We're going to be asking applicants to define what they mean by community, and that might be place-based or it might be interest-based. Again, I'd just point to the last criteria, which is about the project needing to show that it's going to engage that community through the development and the delivery of the project.
So I just wanted to thank Susan for coming along, and I wanted to thank all of you for coming. I hope that you'll either apply or get the organisations that you represent interested in applying. So thank you, and have some lunch.
So I'm Peregrine Fraser from Bite Size World. We have a website for corporate groups to help their employees get involved in environmental and green issues. And I'm here today to see whether we can help out communities, to see whether they can use our website as well to coordinate their community actions. So I'm excited. It seems that corporates and communities can get together and make for a greener world.
Anna Kovshin, London CRN. I think BigGreenChallenge is fantastic because we work with a lot of community groups across London that have innovative ideas that would like the impetus to start thinking about how they can put their ideas into action. And I just love the opportunity to use the expertise of CRED and Unlimited and ourselves for our groups so that they can access funding, access business plan advice, and mostly access a real sense of community spirit across London.
Hello, my name's Susan Sheehan. I'm from Hyde Farm Community Action Network. I'm excited about the Big Green Challenge because having already started working as a community, the challenge will allow us to focus on the future and consider how we might reach a 60% reduction in our CO2 emissions, and at the same time it will offer us some support.
I'm Jen Monaghan from the Carbon Reduction Programme based at the University of East Anglia, and I'm really excited about the Big Green Challenge because I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of innovative ideas that are out there from communities, and looking forward to working with them and taking them forward.